Any of you guys entering the field of diesel mechanic, auto mechanic, or any trade in general, you're going to want to hear this because I think there's a misconception happening here that as soon as you graduate school, you're just going to be handed all opportunities of a lifetime and people are just going to want to get you in the door and pay you $100 an hour because you got a piece of paper from school. If there's one thing I like to convey on this channel is that it's okay to still work with your hands, put in the hard work, put in the overtime, do what you gotta do to learn, make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I mean, I keep saying this stuff over and over, and yet I still get people that comment on videos or whatever, negativity. That's fine, I can take that. But I would like to share with you a comment on one of my videos that I always title A Day in the Life of a Dying Breed, where I kind of video my day-to-day work life, you know, getting up in the morning, making my coffee, going to work, putting in the work, coming home, spending time with the family. And the purpose of calling it A Day in the Life of a Dying Breed is not because I think the diesel mechanic is a dying breed, but that young people entering the workforce don't want to put in the hard work per se. They don't want to get up that early. They don't want to work the second shift if they have to. They want to get paid $100 an hour out of school, and they want to be able to make their own hours. And it sounds exaggerated, but some of this is very true. So I'd like to share with you this comment here. I wrote it down because I film on my phone. Dying breed because no shop wants to train new techs fresh out of school who need apprenticeships in real-world training beyond the school environment. Instead, just want them to be a janitor and change oil for minimum wage until they get discouraged and quit, and it's off to the next. Rinse and repeat. First of all, what? What do you mean no shop wants to train new techs? We're expecting them to put you on engine overhauls right away, and that was gonna be your training? Listen, guys, and this is true for anything in life, any job. If you go to college, if you go into the trades, you start at the bottom. You don't get to just jump into the ring because you think you can box. If you get that reference, good on you. No shop wants to train new techs fresh out of school who need apprenticeships in real-world training beyond the school environment. First of all, where does it say anywhere that any shop owes you anything? You got to earn your way up, man. You may get your foot in the door because you went through school, but you got to prove that you're willing to put in the work. Want them to be a janitor, so I'm assuming he's mad that they want him to sweep up a mess or grab a broom or whatever. Listen, I've been doing this for 14 years now, and I'm not too good to pick up a broom after every job I do. I clean up my own freaking mess. If you can't do that, if you expect someone else to do that because you went through tech school and you got a certificate, then you got a long road ahead of you. Want them to be a janitor and change oil for minimum wage until they get discouraged. I mean, that's how you prove yourself. You got to start at the bottom, changing oil. If you complain and moan, they're never going to move you up. If you go in with the attitude that you're too good to change oil in a vehicle, then you're never going to make it. The next guy that comes up is going to do it gladly. Grab a broom, put the floor dry down if he makes his own mess, clean it up, change oil in the next vehicle for, however long you gotta do that. That guy is gonna move up quicker than you are. Rinse and repeat. I'm assuming that this guy is just speaking from his own experience, and I feel bad for you. If this is your experience, then maybe it's time to just move on to a new shop or look for a different area around. I don't know where you live. I don't know this guy. I read this and I about blew a head gasket because it irks me. This is why I call it a dying breed, because guys don't want to start at the bottom and work their way up. That's the name of the game. I'm sorry that your school told you that once you get your certificate out of there, that people are going to be banging down your door wanting to pay you $100 an hour to come work on your stuff. That's not realistic. No matter what your grades were in school, whatever it was, no shop has any affiliation with whatever school you went to. They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about you. You have to start at the bottom, changing oil, sweeping floors. Once you show that you've got a good attitude and you're willing to do the work and you don't complain, they may put you on a little bit more stuff here and there, change oil, do some brakes, change oil, put it in a U-joint. If you can do that, then you will start moving up. I've been through 2 apprenticeships. I was an apprentice when I got out of school and went through automotive. And at 26 years old, I decided to switch to diesel, and I had to go back to being an apprentice. For 2 weeks, I wasn't even allowed to work on a vehicle. I had to follow people. You know how kind of humiliating that is after doing diagnostics and major engine repairs on cars to have to go to looking like you're super green around the ears and don't know anything. But they have to assume that you're full of shit. Every interview I go to, I tell them, look, I don't know everything, but I like to learn, I'm willing to learn, and I make mistakes, but I try to correct them. And I said that one time to a guy, and he's like, I've never had anyone say that to me. Thank you. He's like, I got guys that come in here and they say they can do this and that, and then they don't even know what a PO300 code is in a vehicle. I mean, come on, guys. If you don't know stuff, just let them know. They'll work with you. I think the reason this pisses me off is because I've put in a lot of hard work in my career to get to where I am. And maybe there was a part of me that got out of school thinking that, they put in your head that you're going to this big prestigious school for automotive or diesel, and guys are going to want to hire you out right out of the door. You can get in places pretty easy if you go through school and you have a certificate or an associate's, but they're still going to expect you to start at the bottom and work your way up. I'm sorry, if you're too good for a broom, or if you're too good to change oil, then maybe you should switch careers to something a little more fitting for your needs. Possibly a temp job at a desk or something where, the hardest thing you have to do is write people's names and numbers down. I don't know what to tell you. Also, by saying this comment, he's kind of reiterated the point I'm trying to get across, titling these videos, Day in the Life of a Dying Breed. It's a shame that young people don't want to put in the work anymore. And I'm not that old, I'm 32, but I saw even when I got out of school, I had a lot of friends that I went to school with that got out of the industry after a year because they didn't think they were getting paid enough. Maybe you weren't. I started out at $9 an hour right out of school. I started out, worked up pretty quick. Like I said, I went through another apprenticeship where I started at the bottom of the totem pole at 26 years old after putting all that hard work in. Did I complain? No. I had multiple guys tell me, hey, you don't complain much, we don't hear you much, you don't really say much. Man, I'm working, I'm learning. Everyone gets discouraged. Everyone's got their breaking point. That's life. You gotta be willing to get over that hump and continue on, and good things happen. Look, I don't mean to call this guy out personally, and I'm not usually like this, but if this guy would have said, hey man, I'm a little discouraged right now, this is the deal going on, I wish I was getting more opportunities, what would you suggest? I would have been more than happy to help this guy. But for him to sum up everyone's experience as shops just using people out of school to be a janitor or change oil, this guy's missing the point, man. I mean, what did you expect? I'll be the first to say that being a diesel mechanic or a heavy duty mechanic or even an automotive mechanic, it's hard work. It's a lot of learning. You never stop learning. You're never going to stop making mistakes. It's easy to get discouraged and go home just angry because of something that happened at work. Perhaps that's all professions, but I'm gonna let you know it gets better. The more you work, the more patient you are, the better attitude you have, you will be successful in this career, in any trade, in any job. Good attitude, don't complain, learn from your mistakes, do the hard work, put in the overtime, show that you're willing to do whatever you got to do to move up. You'll be successful. And for this guy, time to sack up, Buttercup. Life's hard.